In March 2023, Donald Trump made a statement that went largely unnoticed by the mainstream media, but sent shockwaves through the gold markets. Speaking at Mar-a-Lago, he said, "We used to have a thing called the gold standard. It was beautiful. We had real money. Now, we have paper, backed by nothing. That will change." Then in July 2024 in Iowa, he doubled down. On day one, "I will restore sound money to America. The dollar will be strong again, backed by something real." Most analysts dismiss this as campaign rhetoric, but Donald Trump doesn't say things accidentally. And if you look at who he is surrounding himself with, the pattern becomes undeniable. Judy Shelton, who wrote the book advocating for a gold-backed currency. Robert Lighthizer, who believes the current monetary system favors China. And Steve Bannon, who has openly called for economic nationalism, including sound money. The pieces are falling into place. Trump is preparing to do something that hasn't been done in 96 years, return America to a gold-backed dollar. But the target date isn't random. It is 2027. This isn't just economic policy. This is the largest wealth transfer in human history. A reset that will revalue gold by 10 to 20 times its current price, wiping out trillions in debt, destroying creditors, and shifting global power. To understand why, we must first look back at the crime scene. To understand the future, you must understand the pattern. Currency resets happen every 50 to 100 years. The last one was 1971. We are 54 years past due. Let's go back to the classical gold standard from 1879 to 1933. Every dollar was redeemable. $20.67 bought you 1 ounce of gold. It was honest. It limited the government. They couldn't print what they didn't have. But in 1933, everything changed. The Great Depression destroyed the economy. Roosevelt needed to print money, but the gold standard stood in his way. So on April 5th, 1933, he issued Executive Order 6102. It made it illegal for American citizens to own gold. Think about that. The government seized private property. Millions of Americans surrendered their gold for $20 an ounce. Failure to comply, $10,000 fine, and 10 years in prison. This was confiscation, plain and simple. And once the government had the gold, they rigged the game. In 1934, they revalued gold to $35 an ounce. Overnight, the dollar was devalued by 69%. The government effectively stole $3 billion of wealth from its own citizens. Then came the next phase, Bretton Woods. From 1934 to 1971, the dollar was backed by gold, but only for foreign governments. Not for you, but the U.S. got greedy. They printed more dollars than they had gold. France figured it out first. They sent a warship to New York to demand their gold back. The run on the bank had begun, so on August 15, 1971, Richard Nixon went on television, and he closed the gold window. The link was severed. The dollar became paper, backed by nothing. Since then, the money supply has increased by 3,000%. The dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power. The gold standard didn't end because it failed. It ended because it worked too well. It stopped them from spending. Fast forward to today. The system is collapsing. Federal debt is $36 trillion. That is 120% of GDP. Interest payments alone are approaching $1.2 trillion a year. That is more than the entire defense budget. Think about that. The government is borrowing money, just to pay interest on the money it already borrowed. This is a debt-death spiral, and the only way out is inflation. Print money, devalue the currency, and pay back the debt with worthless paper. But here's the most critical data point. The insiders know it's ending. Central banks are buying gold at the fastest pace in 50 years. In 2022, they bought over 1,000 tons. 2023, another 1,000 tons. Who is buying? China, Russia, India, Singapore. They are dumping dollars and loading up on gold. Why? Because they are preparing for something. The dollar's dominance rests on three pillars: reserve status, oil pricing, and military. All three are cracking. In 2022, the U.S. froze $300 billion of Russian reserves. The message to the world was clear. Your dollars aren't safe, so the world started moving away. March 2023, Saudi Arabia announces it will accept yuan for oil. The 50-year petrodollar monopoly is broken. Then BRICS expanded. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Iran joined. They now control the oil, and they are planning a gold-backed currency to replace the dollar. If BRICS launches a gold currency and the dollar remains paper, the dollar dies. Trump understands this. His reset is a preemptive strike. Return to gold before China does. It is not just economics anymore. It is national security. So how does he do it? How do you return to gold when you have printed so much paper? There is a historical playbook. 5 steps. Step 1. Declare a national economic emergency using the Trading with the Enemy Act. Justify it as a defense against China's financial warfare. Step 2. Restriction. Just like 1933, limit private gold ownership. 5 ounces per person. The rest must be surrendered to the Treasury. Step 3. The Great Revaluation. This is the math. The U.S. holds 8,133 tons of gold. At today's price of $2,000, that covers almost nothing of the money supply. But if you revalue gold to $20,000 an ounce, suddenly that gold creates a $5 trillion backing base, enough to restore confidence. The price of gold doesn't go up gradually. It gaps up overnight. Step 4. Debt restructuring. When the dollar devalues by 90% against gold, the $36 trillion debt becomes manageable. Who loses? Anyone holding bonds, anyone holding cash. The debt is inflated away. Step 5. Bretton Woods 2.0. The new gold-backed dollar is launched, but redeemable only by foreign governments, not citizens. The U.S. wins the financial war, but the American middle class gets wiped out. Why 2027? The cycle is 50 to 100 years. We are overdue. 2027 marks the midpoint of a potential second Trump term, the peak of political capital, and the moment U.S. debt interest becomes mathematically impossible to pay. When the reset happens, the world splits. A dollar zone and a BRICS zone. So who wins? Those who hold physical gold, physical assets, real estate with fixed debt. You become rich simply by not holding paper. Who loses? Pension funds, bondholders, and anyone with a savings account full of cash. This is the largest wealth transfer in history. The reset is coming. Trump knows it. China knows it. And now, you know it. The only question is, which side of the transfer will you be on?